Hey Fit Pros, we've just surveyed over 18,300 other fitness professionals and the overwhelming response was they're confused. And this might be you. You might be confused about how to get leads, how to best get new clients, how to best coach your clients as well. And you might be frustrated and confused about how to actually set up your fitness business so that you can earn more money, so that you can impact more people with the work that you love, and so you can have more freedom. And what I'm about to give you is really valuable. I'm going to introduce you to 4 other fitness professionals just like you, but these are running multi-6 and 7-figure fitness businesses. And we're going to break down the 4 major systems that you need, that I need, that they need, that anyone that wants a successful fitness business needs to have in place. And you're going to be able to walk away from this training knowing exactly what those systems are so you can start implementing those and knowing the best next steps for you to build the business that you really want as well. So I highly recommend that you stick with us all the way to the end. And also just FYI, we had a small technical difficulty. I actually got booted off the call at the very end as well, but don't worry, this is amazing because you're going to see Jess, Elisha, Callum, and Josh give you their best insights so you know exactly how to get leads, how to sign on high-ticket clients, how to deliver your coaching, and how to scale a business so that you can be really working 4 to 10 hours a week. And that is no joke. You're going to see how these coaches are doing exactly that in this training. All right, let me introduce you to the most fantabulous coaches that we're going to go through in this episode right now. We've got Jesse, Josh, Elisha, and Callum, also known as 50 Cal as well, because I want you to see what the coaches are doing real time, real world, real business today. Jesse, I would love to start with you because who knows, we also might have a miracle happening every minute now. So we want to get this moving and grooving. So Jesse, please tell the coaches watching right now why you are so fantastic.
I am a mom of almost 3. I run a 6-figure business, honestly, solely off of Instagram. And I've been able to build it through the pandemic. Like my kids have been home, homeschooling while I'm building my business. So no excuses, people.
Yeah, dude, I think you're doing amazing. Jessie is pregnant and about to be giving birth any time now. Miracles are happening all over the place. So when it definitely comes to running your fitness business and having a family and just having a full plate, Jessie's crushing it right now. Mr. Vago, you handsome devil, please tell the world who you are.
Hello. I am Josh Vago, 15,200 coaching clients coached worldwide. I literally just moved to Bali. We're sitting quite literally poolside right now. Basically amazing. And now I run sales here for the Coaches Cartel, and I'm the head coach at MyFit VA, our virtual assistant training agency.
Wow, that guy knows a good spiel. I love that. Also extremely handsome. But I
Practice
think I dare say, if we could go a little bit more handsome. Elisha,
Hey.
You're amazing. Give everyone the spiel of Mr. Allison.
Yeah. So I'm a 23-year-old and run a 6-figure coaching business. Right now I'm still hybrid, so face-to-face and online. I'm transitioning out of that currently as we speak. So that's me in a nutshell. I know it's not much, but it's what it is.
Amazing. I know everyone's going to be able to learn so much from Elisha because he's gone through dramatic growth, and everything you're doing right now, dude, is amazing. And being able to go from face-to-face coaching, which is obviously where I started, and then going to online and then transitioning, having the both. And then, dude, we're going to talk about today as well, how your coaching business is about to start running without you as well. So massive 2 thumbs up. 50 Cal, dude, please tell the world the amazing bit of you are.
Yo. I'm 50 and I run a epic coaching business called Young Guns. I believe it's unique and one of a kind. I don't believe there is anyone else in the world currently doing what I do. We coach guys like 13 to 21 with online fitness coaching. We developed a market and started tapping into a market that no one else had the balls and kahunas to do, as Dufay would call. So we've got a team of 5 underneath us. I've managed to scale and systemize a lot through autonomous lead gen through paid advertising, which brings my work time into Young Guns to around anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per week. Yes, 2 to 4 hours per week, not day, and being able to run that. And now I'm the head coach in the cartel and help all the other dudes be able to do the same thing or work pivotal towards getting there as well. So that's me.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So you right now, I think you're in for a real treat because we're going to go through a behind the scenes of what are the real systems. I just want to like underline and pin that word systems because this is what you need to do. And this is why I wanted to bring this group together because we have multi 6, 7-figure businesses in this screen right now, and everyone is being able to do like really cool stuff. And be able to have a life as well, because I really want you to understand you can have an amazing business and you can live a life. You don't, and you shouldn't. I don't think you should be grinding your axe 24/7, hustling all the time, because that does not need to be. Vega, you might even want to show you poolside manner even as we go through this as well. All right, amazing. So there are 4 systems that we really need to make sure that you have got on board, and I want you to understand by the end of this call. Number 1, attract. How do you attract leads? Number 2, convert. How do you convert those leads to clients? Number 3, deliver. How do you deliver a world-class experience to your clients? And then number 4, scale. How do you actually scale your business so it's not just you grinding away day in, day out? This was something when I used to actually present to personal trainers in face-to-face, especially in Sydney. That was like, God, that was a while ago. It's nearly 10 years ago now. I remember the very first question that I asked, and I was like, everyone put your hand up if you have a business. And all the trainers put their hand up. They're like super pumped. Yeah, I've got a business. And I was like, everyone keep your hand up if your business will continue to bring you money if you don't rock up. And everyone dropped their hands. And I was like, that's not really a business. That's a glorified job at the end of the day. So that's why I want to say these are the systems you have to have in place so the business is a real business and can operate with you not having to do all the heavy lifting. So the first thing we're going to talk about is attract. How to actually attract leads. We're going to talk about organic lead generation, and then we're going to talk about paid lead generation as well. To talk about organic, Jessie is going to talk about how she's doing an amazing job on Instagram at the moment for lead generation. But I just want to highlight one thing. The strategy that Jessie is using can be used across any social media platform. So yes, Instagram is amazing. You can use it, but you can also apply the exact same strategy to the other platforms as well. Jessie, I'd love to know how is it that you're actually doing everything with Instagram to get people to see your stuff? And then how do you get them to actually becoming a client?
Okay, so when it comes to Instagram, I think that and Facebook too, actually, I think that we forget that people are usually going on there to escape their own lives. So you want to be yourself. You want to be very vulnerable in front of all your posts. Your posts should be telling a story. They should be telling a story about yourself. So I think that that's really like the first really important point, is that when you're writing your posts every single day, you want to leave a bit of yourself in them. You want people coming out of that post and saying, okay, I know a little bit more about this person, because it's going to make it so much easier when you go and you get on a sales call, because they already know who you are. At the end of the day, they're not buying your program. They want to work with you, right? And if you're not putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, then you're not going to make that sale. So that is my number one thing when it comes to Instagram, is just being vulnerable, being yourself. I have noticed over time that written posts tend to do a lot better on Instagram versus videos. So that's a bit different when it comes to other platforms. So if you are going more the Instagram route, written definitely will get you further. You definitely want to use stories every single day, and you don't want to use stories just to be constantly promoting whatever your product is. You want to use stories, again, to share who you are. People are just like, really, most people are not going through their feeds. They're going through their stories, and they want to get a laugh, and they want to get some piece of you through that. They're just they're going on there because they're escaping their lives. So if you're not able to put yourself out there and be quirky or goofy or nerdy, whatever it is that you are, then you're not doing yourself justice when it comes to Instagram. So I've actually started saying this on the incubator coaching calls, to channel your inner Dorian, because my son will be 7 next month, and he does not give a crap what anyone thinks. He is totally himself, and he will go out in like 30 degrees Celsius weather, in his fuzzy Christmas pajamas and his little plaid bow tie, and he will go out in public and just does not care. So be yourself. It is so important. Now, when it comes to building an audience, what I found works really, really well is taking the time, like 3 times a day, and just going and liking random posts that are using hashtags that you would use. So go and take 10 minutes out of your day and do that 3 times a day. Another thing to boost your engagement when it comes to your actual post is doing like 10 minutes before your post and 10 minutes afterwards. You will notice that your following will go up. You will notice more engagement when it comes to your posts. Now, how am I getting leads? This is the most important part, which you can totally do this on Instagram as well. Whenever I post a Instagram post, I always share it to my story every single time. And when I share it to my story, I add a poll on there and I ask a question in regards to the call to action that day. And then that allows me to get a bunch of answers, and those people have already told you they want help. So when you're going and you're using our chat to client, you're not going out there and finding a random person out there. You're going out there and starting a conversation with somebody who's already said, yes, I have a poor relationship with food. Yes, I need help. So it is a million times easier to get somebody booked into a call using that method.
So good.
And
What do you think are the biggest mistakes coaches are making when it comes to trying to get leads from social media right now?
not asking for them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's what it is just not asking for it. And I definitely made that mistake before joining the cartel. I was writing everything really well when it came to my post. I was telling my story, but I wasn't asking. So that call to action, and then like what I have started doing with the stories, it just takes it to the next level. It just makes it so much easier, because again, these people are already telling you they want your help.
Yeah, I love this. Okay, this is so good. This has been golden. So we've already talked about producing the content, how to produce the content, what to do around the content to increase engagement, and then actually how the content turns to becoming leads. And we'll talk about the actual sales part in the next bit. Now, organic lead generation, extremely important. But I think what a lot of coaches are just really fearful about is paid ads, because they feel like they're going to be wasting their money. And yes, if you're doing it incorrectly, you will be wasting your money. And that's why Callum right now is going to give you the laydown on literally the ad funnels that are producing the most ridiculous results I think I've ever seen, even before the heyday. So 50, let's go through how the ad funnels are actually working and how they actually working with you doing such little in it as well.
Yeah, cool. First of all, like Jesse's stuff on Instagram, like if you're listening to this and you actually practically implement what she said, you're generally going to generate leads. So go do it. Dude, ads, the funny thing, and I'm glad you made that point too, like ads can be done so wrong. I did it wrong for a long time as well before actually figuring out what happens with it. And I think the most important thing before I go into this is the actual physical system of setting an ad up isn't that difficult. A lot of people can learn it quickly, but how to get offers correct and how to get genuine attention with your advertising is difficult, as we know. But what's working right now, Chris, especially for coaches that have strong message and offers in their business, is making sure, I'll say this word a million times, we've got a amazing front end offer. What that means is, like, first of all, like a lot of the problems isn't usually with the ads. It's like what is behind the ad. Like, for example, like I always describe it as like, you know, if you've got a Lamborghini, you've got a Hyundai Getz. If the Hyundai Getz is packaged in golden paper as the ad, well, people are going to go to it even though it's a shitty car. You know what I mean? But even if we've got this Lambo and it's packaged in brown paper, i.e. your ads are bad, but you've got the best program in the world, guess what? No one's going to know there's a Lambo underneath. So my points with this is like getting your offers right in the first end to gain trust is super important. So when it comes to actually crafting ads, like we've got to look at what are we actually leading people to? A lot of the times people do ads wrong, Chris, because what they do is they try to drive people directly to their program. They're like, hey, here's an ad, come buy my shit. It's like, dude, these people are brand new to you. They don't know who you are yet. Like they've got no trust with you. Like they're not going to pay, you know, if you want to sell high ticket at, you know, $1,200 plus, you know, for your program, people aren't going to have the trust to be able to outpay that to you, and they're not going to join the program. So what we look at in like our ad system is, first of all, crafting an amazing offer. You need a good offer, and you need to figure out what your offer is. What's different from other coaches? First thing we do. Second thing we do is we teach a framework on how do we align someone's problem and how do we align that to the market to get true attention ad. We shoot amazing video ads. We drive people to a free offer. We gain trust first. So we go from ad, and then we put them to a place, whether it be a landing page, but right now we're utilizing groups really well. We're going back to, you and me joke about it all the time, we're going back to the old school shit we did years ago, you know what I mean? It's like the tried and tested methods come back out, and that's actually getting people to a basic community or a good environment. So if we've got prospects or leads in an environment, well, it allows us to nurture it. You know, they're like little seeds. They take up our first initial offer that's free, and then we're able to keep watering that, get into what Jesse was talking about and utilizing a chat to client method, and then appointment setting them into the program. So like, hey, sweet, here's our front end offer. What would it be like to be in our actual program? Boom, sell. And the amazing thing about this system too, like you asked the question about how do you get it to run without you? And the first thing about paid ads as well is, like, if you're not running paid ads, like I guarantee you should get there, because for as little as $5 a day, you've got potential to reach 300 to 500 people. Like, you know, ask yourself that question. If I spent $5 a day, for me, I eliminated coffee when I started running ads. How much volume of people could you actually get there to be able to do that? Like, what would that do for your business if you 500 extra attention per day? Pretty insane. So the first thing like we look at doing is when we're running these ads is making sure that we're getting the attention right, and then systematically growing and scaling it. And what that looks like is getting team members. So if we've got leads that are coming to us every single day, our next step is who can help water the seeds. So if, you know, for personally my business, we've got someone that actually does the reach out, has the conversations, appointment sets them into my sales guy's calendar. So now what we've got is we've got a complete autonomous lead gen system. You run ads, you get effective attention, you have a team member come in, set the appointment, qualify the client for you. You're not doing that. Qualify the client for you, and then sell them, ultimately make them a great fit, and then enroll them into the program. So 3 very simple steps. Believe it or not, it's as simple as that. It's just about doing the critical things right. And that is getting an amazing offer, learning how to craft amazing ads, and then getting the system operating properly.
Beautiful, Callum. So well done. And that's the thing. The simplicity of this is the beauty and the power of this as well. There's no need to overcomplicate it. And I think that's actually where I see a lot of coaches go wrong right now, is they're literally trying to overcomplicate it. They are overcomplicating it, and therefore making it so much harder as well. So we've talked attract, we've talked about organic lead generation, paid lead generation. Now we've got tons of leads coming through. Let's make sure that you've got a system to actually turn those leads into clients. And to kick this off, we're going to start with Mr. Vago. Josh, when it comes to having a system behind high ticket sales, what are the key parts of this system that need to be actually working for it to actually generate new clients week in, week out?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the law of 3, so I'm going to continue with that since it seems like it's a theme here today. First of all, we're going to have the qualification call, as Cal just touched on briefly there. This is so important. Oh my God, I wish someone would have sat me down in 2013 and said this to me. This is where you get the data and information you need from that lead and prospect to determine if you want to work with them or not. You are probably, as a coach, not used to hearing someone talk to you like this. This is what you need to hear, though. You are interviewing them to become a client of yours. You're not doing a backflip begging someone, let me coach you. The mindset and the approach to that conversation and that dynamic, dude, you've got to understand what I just said. Go back, watch this again, understand you are interviewing this person to become a client. They're not interviewing you to become their coach. You need to believe in what you do, probably a little bit more. And if you don't, then maybe later on we could talk about the delivery of coaching and say, hey, how do you actually believe in what you do more so you can sell it in such a way that allows you to have that confidence and certainty. So first of all, you're going to have a qualification call. We call it the triage call. 10 or 15 minutes, you sit down with the person and you grill them with questions. We call it a friendly interrogation, right? So who are you? What are your goals? What are the problems that you're experiencing? What pain are your problems causing you right now? What does your life, your body look like if you don't achieve your fitness goals? Take me through that. You're really trying to extract the information out of them so that you know, as the coach, technically, how do you help them? But they also have more awareness and understanding. Oh my gosh, this is why I need to make a change right now. So that first call is all about asking questions, getting the data you need, and also setting the tone. Like, hey, this is a real operation here. We're not winging it. We're not freestyling it. It's a qualification call that allows you to really determine if and how you're going to help that person. If you do feel like you can help that person, you'll take them to the second call. This is the closing call, the strategy session, whatever you want to call it. Just two quick things I think coaches should be aware of for that strategy closing call. You could go through the training that we've done a bunch of times here at the Coaches Cartel, the features and benefits. The features are the technical things you give someone. I give you a training plan. I give you a nutrition plan. I give you a weekly check-in. So it's the technical stuff you give them. That's the features. And the benefits are the emotional attachment and what they actually get long-term in terms of results and how they look, feel, and operate as a result of you giving them the actual feature. So features, benefits. There's basically the very, very simple framework you can use to close people. And then you also have to understand how to handle objections. What do you actually do when someone says, well, it costs too much, or I got to think about it, I'm going to go talk with my spouse? Do you know how to actually handle each of those situations? To use analogy here, I always loved the athlete before the big game analogy. When I was an athlete, a lot of us were athletes growing up. That's why we got into fitness. The reason why I was very confident in going into the big game as an athlete is I knew I was prepared. I knew every move that could potentially happen in the game. I knew every counter move that the opponent could make, and I knew how I would respond accordingly to the rules of the game and everything involved with that. So are you that prepared going into a sales call, knowing what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and how you're going to handle those moves and counter moves that handle in that negotiation sales type setting? If you don't, find a way to get in touch with us. We'll make it very clear, and I can take you through exactly what that looks like, because I actually have a framework for exactly how you'll handle each of those specific objections. So let me quick summary here. Introduction call, qualification call, get the information you need to determine if and how you can help them. Closing call, go features, benefits, features, technical things you give someone, benefits, the emotional attachment they would have to the feature, how to handle objections. And then I think, Chris, it is the responsibility of the salesperson to start the onboarding process for the actual coaching program. So if you're a one-man band, you're the coach, you're also the salesperson, the onboarding person, and the coach. So you as the coach want to make it easy on yourself by having good onboarding because of you in the sales process with onboarding. So things like, was payment taken? Was the agreement signed? Did they have their kickoff call booked in? Was the questionnaire that they need to fill out sent and completed and sent back? Do they have clear expectations for what they need to do next? I know it's a lot right there, but I want to leave it.
Dude, this is so good, and I absolutely love this. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to go through everyone. Elisha, for example, dude, you're just making like weekly records and monthly records, month in, month out, with you being able to earn more money. What would be the one thing that's changed, which is why you're closing so many clients from when you weren't to now where it's just a piece of cake?
Yeah, I think the main thing is making sure that I dig into their pains and help them understand that there's actually a problem. Like, I think most of the people don't understand that like what they're going through can be life changing. Like it could be detrimental to their overall health, like their family, their business, everything. And so making sure that they understand that there is an actual problem and then here's a solution, right? And so the only reason why someone is going to buy something from you is if they want it. And the only reason why they want it is to realize that there's a problem or there's a pain. And so making sure that we definitely touch on that pain and then be like, okay, here's a solution. Here's how we fix it. Here's a price. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's been the biggest game changer. Is used to, I was kind of nervous to jump into the pain. He was like, hey, you want to lose weight? Like, no, dig into it, get deep, because you're ultimately going to really help this person, you know?
I love this. And I love when listening to how each of you explain it as well. It's very simple, but you can tell, and I hope everyone like listening and watching right now is picking up what's getting put down, is it's just the repetitions have been done. Do you know what I mean? But they're not crappy reps. It's not putting in dirty reps. It's putting in good quality reps time and time again for that quality to come up. Now, Cal, I want us to talk about actually how the team is having, we alluded to before, do you know what I mean? Leads are coming through from the ads, someone setting the appointment, then a team member's taking on the actual sales point. What's been the actual big difference now that you've got the team running the sales for you?
Big difference is, as you talk about like moving away from a glorified job to actually being a business leader, not a business owner, a business leader, because your team's so important. They're only going to ever operate based off how well you lead and mentor them as well. That's super important. So what it's allowed me to do is be able to step back and look at each position as a department. And as a department, every department is a cog, and it helps the business grow faster or slower. So for me, it's let me step back and focus on what matters. And at the end of the day, if we're looking at just at impact and cash flow, that's what matters. all the other stuff is essentially just systems that we put in place or cogs we put in place. So for me, when I step back, I'm allowed to look at, okay, sweet. What was my return on investment? How many clients churned? Are my clients growing? Is the business pivotably moving forward? So for me, being in this position, having teams run it, it's allowed me to do a couple of things. Number one, grow my business faster, big time. Like, you can only sell so much and do so many triages, appointment sets, and chat to clients throughout the week. So having team members massively increases your time ability to do that. Gives me and my favorite one, gives me a really clear overview month to month of what I need to do to move forward. That's so calming for me to be able to look at stats, numbers, and be like, okay, sweet. What are the changes we need to make in departments to move forward? And number three as well, I think most importantly, allows me time to get some banana bread and hang out with my dog. And I think that's the most important one with having a team operate with that.
I think you've absolutely nailed it. I think that's exactly right at the end of the day as well. Now we've done attract, we've done convert, let's do deliver. And I don't know if my video is lagging right now, but we're going to deal with it. And hopefully you can just hear everything that I'm saying. But let's talk about delivery and actually how we coach all of these amazing new clients that are coming in, week out. And Jess, I'd love to start with you because you are preparing to give birth in a matter of just weeks right now. You're going to become a mother of 3. This is amazing. And doing so whilst running an amazing fitness business as well, I think is just awesome. Like I totally appreciate everything that you do and I respect and I love it. How are you actually being able to coach and how will you be able to coach as well going through this amazing life chapter as well?
First of all, thank you so much. You're always amazing and you're always like one of our biggest supporters, which you don't even realize how appreciated you are. But going into this, I have to say I'm going into this birth very chill. Like I'm just ready. I wasn't really ready for my other 2. And mind you, I knew I was going to take the entire year off of work because Canada gives you a year. And this time around, it's just like I've got everything set in place. I absolutely love my job. Like if you can love what you do so much that you don't even want to take maternity leave, I think that's a good place to be. And in the last, I would say 4 to 6 weeks, I've really been focusing on getting all of my work done, like programming for all of my clients and everything, making sure that I have set up extra documents for clients that were like frequently asked questions come up. So I've gotten a bunch of resources ready to go that now I have an assistant coach that is helping me. So she's taking over with all of my group check-ins because I do both group and one-on-one. So she'll be doing those all for me and will likely be taking over the calls and running the Zoom calls for me for the first few weeks after the baby's born. And then for myself, my one-on-one clients are more than welcome to join in on the group calls if they can't live without me for a couple of weeks. But realistically, they're all very excited for me and they're all very understanding. And they all, and not only that, when it comes to making sure that, like, to be able to take 2, 3, 4 weeks off of doing so much work, I could honestly probably get away with, I'm not as great as Cal. Cal's pretty awesome. But I could probably get away with running my business in like 10 hours a week. So that's not too horrible when it comes to if I had to do it all on my own, right? But I obviously don't want to do that. I want my clients to get that value. So I've got my assistant coach taking over most of those day-to-day things. I've done all of the programming and everything up until about mid-September for all of my clients. So they're all ready to go and all set up for success. I've brought on another friend of mine who's actually running some bonus Zoom classes for my clients every 3 weeks. We've been kind of rotating between mobility classes. And she's doing an awesome boot camp class for my clients this weekend. So it's giving enough value and creating enough amazing community in your coaching business that when you take a step back, it's sustainable. Like I was so proud of all of my clients about 2 weeks ago. I had one client who was having a really hard time. I was out of town, so my reception was really spotty. And she posted something on the Facebook group, and I didn't get a chance to see it for a couple of days. And when I got back on there, it was just amazing to see that all of these other women are out there supporting other women on there. They're all like, all my clients are just there supporting each other. So at the end of the day, if you've created a community that can sustain and support each other, even when you're taking a step back, even if it's a couple of days, that is so important.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that. And that's the beauty of what you've created is it's taking care of itself. The community has become such a valuable part, and it's its own organism that you're perpetuating and being able to step away from and like doing it 10 hours a week. That's incredible. I love that. Okay, Elisha, dude, I'd love us to be able to get you to give us your insights with how everything's running coaching-wise for yourself, especially because you're coming through the transition of bringing coaches on to work for you also during this period. So how's it all operating inside of your business?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and I love everything Jess said about stepping away. And so with knowing that I'm going to have a coach coming on board pretty soon, there's three things that I like to think about when it comes to my coaching: automate the actual coaching, and then like the frameworks of the coaching. Because like if I'm going to have somebody come on, they need to have SOPs, they need to make sure they have frameworks that they can follow. So it doesn't look like that I just hired some Joe Blow and he's just running my coaching program. That's not what I want at all. So like with like the automate, the less that I can give myself or my new coach coming on board, the better. So I want to automate absolutely everything I possibly can. We use the Baller System Fit Pro solution. And so it's got the CRM, it's got the emails that are sent out. So basically when someone purchases, I drag it, drop it, sets tasks, tags, sends out consultation forms, links for the kickoff calls that we actually jump on. So I don't have to touch anything. I just drag, drop, boom. And so from there, I can physically just have buckets when they fill out their consultation form. Hey, this is a beginner who wants to work out 3 days per week and they want to do, hypertrophy. Boom, boom, boom. It's set up. We just take a few things and make sure that it's just easily combined, and we don't have to really think about having to program how many sets of squats they have every single week, because ultimately we want to be able to free up time, and doing that can be so monotonous. So making sure we have those buckets set in place, and then it automatically sets it into like a membership site where we have like our educational pieces where we don't have to do the teaching every single coaching call. So that way, when a new coach who comes on board, they can say, hey, if you're struggling to figure out what a calorie is, like go watch this video. So you don't have to physically teach what a calorie is every time you jump on a call with the client, right? So there's the automation. So it's all done for me. So I don't really have to think about it. Coaching wise, we want to be able to make sure that this is sustainable. And so we've set up in a way that we do one-on-one coaching calls for the beginning of the client's program. So like for the first 8 weeks, we do a one-on-one coaching call. And then after that, it rolls around to just a group coaching call. So that way we can free up more time. That way we're able to bring in more clients, more leads, but we don't over exhaust ourselves. And also with the new coach coming on board, we don't want to just like make it look like he sucks because he's just getting too much all at one time. So we want to be able to slowly give him leads. And the only way to do that is to have a system where it's personal and then group. And then usually with that group, they have an amazing community. So you don't have to worry about them falling off or the retention being super low there. So we do that. And then we send out like update forms for them weekly where the coach can go in and say, okay, so-and-so needs something different, right? And then they can just go in and do that. And then finally, I said the frameworks. So like making sure that we have SOPs set in place so the coach doesn't have to try to figure this all out in the top of his head. So like, hey, when you wake up and you need to set some programs, go here, then click here, then do this. So if your goal is to have coaches and people underneath you, we need to be setting up SOPs if we're doing a task more than once. So that's how mine's running. And I'm super, super pumped to get it going and just see the whole process of taking on a new member. So it's super exciting, but yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you've probably heard the team right now says SOPs a lot, which makes my heart sing with joy. And if you don't know what SOPs is, it's simply standard operation procedures. So my belief is any task that has to be done more than once needs to have an SOP behind it so that we have congruency. And so it's easily done at the end of the day. So you can understand that the system can run itself, and you don't need to be like pulling your hair out day in, day out, because your business might feel like you're constantly putting out fires, or you're just constantly trying to spin multiple plates if you do not have those systems in place. So we've talked about attract, we've talked about convert, we've talked about deliver. Let's do the last one, which is scale. And I'm pretty sure my video is still super delayed, so I'm coming through in bits and chunks, which is going to be very amusing for everyone. But let's talk about scale right now. Firstly, we've talked about it a couple of times with this, which is team right now. So Mr. Vago, let's talk about team, because this is something I know that you've gone through where it was not so good and not so fun, to when you have it now being super fun and actually having things taken care of without any problems whatsoever. What is the system behind having systems and a team actually running itself?
Yes, huge question. At the end of the day, there's all these different things within your business that need to get done. Now, the question here is whether it's going to get done by you or by someone else. In my opinion, just for the coach, if you have 0 team members right now, this is my general suggestion. First of all, you keep doing sales. Second of all, you keep doing coaching. You most likely are not exactly where Jess and Elisha and Cal are at right now. If you're a one-man band, you sell, you coach. Where things get a little bit dicey is the front end. For example, there's 2 different types of positions that you would normally have to hire for once you do start getting to the point where you're like, I'm really busy, I'm starting to get tired, starting to get burned out. First one would be a lead generating / appointment setting type position. Okay, so this is the person that manages your social media. This is the person doing the cold outreach. This is the person doing the chat to client method we talk about. This is the person doing the hot potato conversations in the DM back and forth with intent of getting them booked in for a call. Okay, ultimately, if you need calls booked in, which we obviously all do so sales can take place and we can make money and help people, you need leads coming through for you on an automatic, recurring, something that doesn't have to be very stressful for you type of a basis. So for example, that could be a virtual assistant that handles your social media for you, gets people booked into your calendar. The second type of position would also be a marketing based type position, which would be a content management, content editing, content publishing type position. Because if you're in the position right now to where you're in that 0 to 5K range, even 0 to 10K range, you probably just need more freaking leads. You just need more sales calls booked into your calendar so you have more opportunities to make money and help people. So generally, these are 2 separate positions: lead generation, appointment setting, and then the content editing and publishing. At MyFit VA, we actually created what we call Project Unicorn, where we have VAs that are skilled enough to actually do both of those skill sets within one role. Because when you look at content and the management of social media, conservatively, you're looking at 25 to 30 hours of work per week that needs to get done. Once again, it either needs to get done by you or by someone else. I know literally almost the second I passed along that lead generation task alone back, 2-3 years ago at this point, I went from 5K per month, 10 leads on average per month. Within 90 days, I went to 40 leads per month and about 20K per month. All I did was pass along some of those lead generation, social media management tasks. And I focused on what I do best: talking to people about the program, getting them inside the program, and then taking care of them once they're inside the program. So lead generation, content editing, and publishing, those are the types of things that need to get done for most coaches right now.
I love this. This makes my heart sing. This is so good. Okay, Callum, we've talked about a few times, do you know what I mean, that Young Guns is running like a smooth and well-oiled operating machine at the end of the day. And so you can have plenty of time with Maya's your dog and eating banana bread. I want a high-level view of what you're doing so that the team does.
That's not good. Chrissy boy just dropped out.
Cal, you keep rolling, bro. High level view of the systems needed for you to actually operate this thing.
What was it? Can you say it one more time?
Yep. So Chris was just going to ask, because I have the agenda here. He was just going to ask for like the high level perspective of what is actually needed for you to be able to be the operator of the business and to make sure this runs from a high level perspective.
So what am I personally doing?
Yeah. What are you doing with Young Guns specifically?
So when it comes to like actually being at a high level of operations, I think the main thing we need to do is make sure, like, as I mentioned before, when it comes to team members, that Number one, they feel comfortable. I think like making sure that we take them through like a traffic light system of green, orange, red, super important. Green being the best, orange being struggling, and red being Callum really stressed is really important. And how we stamp a lot of the fires out early in the week with make sure the team members are executing properly is we hold what we call like a weekly momentum meeting. So this week at the beginning of the week, we go through our personal wins, both business and life, and therefore then we set our MITs of the week. So what are our most important tasks we need to get done for the week? And that way every team member is really clear on what needs to get done. We simplify this too. So it eliminates stress, it eliminates overwhelm. We will look at week by week. We evaluate each week, so then we can do a monthly report and a monthly evaluation as well. So when team members doing this, I just find that they can take a task and they can run with it week by week, which is super duper important to eliminate the stress and that they're doing things right. And then in a month, we just do a review. So it keeps our team super chill and allows us to work incrementally forward and move the needle forward in business month by month as well. And systems as well, like we use like a back end, like, Elisha mentioned like MyFitPro Solutions, like FPS system that we use as well, but we personally are still using like say like Asana and having a clear member management board, but not just for members of our program, but leads, applications, SOPs, etc. So that way every person in my team is assigned to a particular task. So therefore, there's no miscommunications between, you should have done this or he should have done that. No, you assign your task and you take full responsibility for that as well. So my guys are really well trained knowing that they're responsible in task, and therefore if they're not executing something, well, it allows me as a team leader, or more importantly, allows me to tell my operations manager as the team leader to pull those guys up on like what's actually happening with those tasks that they're doing so that they can continue to execute and get better. So 2 takeaways. Number 1 is set good intentions for your weeks. It is really important. The team make sure they're all feeling good. Treat them really cool as well. Make sure you guys are super happy. And then second of all as well is make sure they take ownership of what their roles and responsibilities are.
All right, so there you have it. There you have the behind the scenes of the 4 critical systems that we all need to have a successful fitness business and what you can easily start to do. Now, one of the easiest next steps from here is to simply be able to book in what we call a strategy session and chill out. There is nothing to buy on this call. This is the best way for us to find out, can we actually help you? Can we give you these systems and can we give you everything that you're looking for? Because we just have to do 3 things in a really quick chat. Number 1, we want to find out, where are you? Are you starting from scratch? Have you been in the industry for years? What have you got working? What have you got missing? What have you got broken? Second thing is, we want to know, where do you actually want to go? What does success look like for you? How much work do you want to be doing? How much money do you want to be earning? Where do you want to be working from? Who do you want to be working from? Really, essentially building the business model, the business plan that you need. And then the third thing is, well, what's the straightest line? What's the best plan for you to go from where you are right now to where you want to go? And that's all we cover on this quick strategy session. So what I'll do is I'll pop a link below for you to book in your free strategy session with me and the team so that we can best lay everything out. So best case scenario, we're going to be able to give you the plan that you implement. Worst case scenario, you can just run with the plan that we give you and you run with it and put it to the test for yourself as well. So all you need to do, click the link below and we'll be chatting with you real soon.